Scorpio, this is not a coincidence. And this message is not early or late. Before December ends, something is going to happen that will shock you because you never saw it coming this way. What you thought was delayed was actually being prepared. What felt silent was working behind the scenes. A moment is approaching where one conversation, one message, or one sudden realization changes everything you thought you knew. This isn't fear, it's destiny knocking unexpectedly. If you are a Scorpio watching this right now, stay with me, because missing this message could mean missing the moment your life quietly but permanently shifts. Scorpio, you are one of the strongest signs of the Zodiac, yet you often carry your struggles in silence. Over the past weeks, you may have felt a strange pressure, like something is about to change, but you couldn't explain how or when. This video is for the Scorpio who stayed patient while life tested their limits. As December comes to an end, energies are shifting in your favor, and clarity is replacing confusion. What's unfolding now isn't random. It's alignment. Stay with me, Scorpio, because the message ahead reveals why this moment matters more than you realize. What is shifting for Scorpio right now? Scorpio, right now, you are standing at a turning point, even if it doesn't fully feel that way yet. For a long time, you've been carrying emotional weight without clear answers. Situations dragged on, people stayed unclear, and outcomes felt delayed. But what you didn't see was that everything was quietly rearranging itself in your favor. The confusion wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Your energy has been shifting beneath the surface. You may have noticed sudden thoughts, emotional releases, or moments where the past no longer hurts the way it used to. That's not random. That's your inner strength coming back online. Scorpio never moves loudly. Transformation happens in silence first. Right now, the universe is closing unfinished loops around you. Old lessons are completing, and patterns that once repeated are losing their grip. This is why things may feel calm but heavy at the same time. You're shedding an old version of yourself. Before December ends, this internal shift creates space for something external to happen. Something real, visible, and undeniable. What's coming doesn't arrive through force, but through perfect timing. And when it happens, you'll understand why everything unfolded exactly this way. The event, what you won't believe. Scorpio, what's coming before December ends is not something you can plan for, and that's exactly why it will shock you. This event doesn't arrive slowly or politely. It comes suddenly, almost out of nowhere, and it forces you to see the truth clearly. You may receive unexpected news, a message you weren't waiting for anymore, or a realization that instantly changes how you view a person or a situation. What makes this moment unbelievable is not just what happens, but how it happens. It comes from a direction you had already emotionally closed. Someone you thought was silent reveals their intentions. Something you believed was over suddenly resurfaces, but with clarity this time, not confusion. This is the kind of moment where time feels paused for a second. Your instincts activate immediately. Scorpio doesn't react emotionally. Scorpio knows, and in that instant, you'll realize that what once caused pain no longer controls you. You're no longer chasing answers. They are coming to you freely. This event marks a turning point. After it happens, you won't question yourself the same way again. Doubt dissolves. Fear loses power. The old emotional weight lifts. Not dramatically, but permanently. What's unfolding isn't meant to impress others. It's meant to liberate you. And once this moment passes, there's no going back to the version of you that tolerated uncertainty. You step forward with quiet confidence, knowing that life has finally caught up with your truth. Impact on love and relationships. Scorpio, when this shift unfolds, its strongest impact will be felt in your relationships. Love, for you, has never been casual. It's deep, all or nothing, and emotionally intense. That's why recent months may have felt heavy. You sensed something was off, but clarity refused to arrive. Now, that changes. Before December ends, someone's real feelings become impossible to ignore, either through words, actions, or silence that finally speaks louder than promises. Masks fall naturally. What was confusing becomes obvious, and for the first time in a long while, you stop questioning your instincts. If you've been holding on to someone emotionally, this moment brings either deep healing or clean closure. Both are blessings, even if they feel different at first. Scorpio doesn't fear endings. Scorpio fears emotional dishonesty, and this shift removes exactly that. For some of you, love transforms instead of ending. A connection deepens because honesty replaces uncertainty. Boundaries become respected. Emotional balance returns. You realize that love was never meant to drain you. It was meant to strengthen you. After this moment, your heart feels lighter. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is real. And that authenticity allows you to love or release without regret. Impact on money, career, and life path. Scorpio, the shift happening now doesn't stop at emotions. It reaches deeply into your money, career, and long-term direction. For a while, you may have felt uncertain about your next move. Even when you worked hard, results seemed delayed or uneven. That wasn't failure. It was redirection. Before December ends, a moment of clarity arrives around your path forward. This may come through a decision, an opportunity, or a realization that finally shows you where your energy truly belongs. Something you once doubted suddenly makes sense. You see how every delay protected you from a wrong commitment. Financially, this period helps you regain control. You may not receive instant abundance, but you receive certainty, and certainty is power. You know what to say yes to and what to walk away from. That alone changes everything. In your career, you step out of survival mode and you stop chasing approval and start trusting your value. This shift attracts better options, stronger negotiations, and long-term stability. What matters most is that your life path feels aligned again. You're no longer forcing progress. You're moving with intention, and from this point forward, each step feels deliberate, grounded, and quietly powerful, exactly the way Scorpio thrives. Why this had to happen before December ends. Scorpio, this moment had to arrive before December ends for a reason. The end of the year is not just about time, it's about closure. You've been carrying lessons from the past far longer than you were meant to. Situations repeated, emotions lingered, and questions stayed unanswered because the lesson wasn't complete yet. Now, it is. December acts like a final doorway. What doesn't align cannot move forward with you into the next chapter. That's why things are being revealed now, not later. If this shift happened in January, you might have carried old emotional weight into a new beginning. This timing protects you from that. Before the year closes, the universe wants you clear, emotionally, mentally, and energetically. This isn't about punishment or loss. It's about precision. Everything that ends now does so with purpose, not regret. By the time December finishes, you're no longer tied to confusion. You step into the new year, lighter, sharper, and more self-aware. You don't enter the future asking questions. You enter it with understanding, and that clarity becomes your greatest strength moving forward. What Scorpio must do right now? Scorpio, right now, the most important thing you can do is not rush. When something big approaches, the instinct is to control the outcome, but this moment doesn't require force. It requires awareness. Pay attention to what feels heavy and what suddenly feels light. Your intuition is sharper than ever, and it's guiding you away from what no longer deserves access to your energy. Don't ignore small signs or inner nudges. A delayed response, a sudden pause, or a quiet realization may be exactly where your power is returning. This is not the time to chase explanations from others. The clarity you need is forming within you first. Trust that. Emotionally, choose honesty, especially with yourself. If something feels draining, it's no longer meant to continue. If something feels calm instead of chaotic, that's alignment, not boredom. Scorpio thrives when truth replaces intensity. As this chapter closes, remember, you survived what was meant to shape you, not break you. What's coming doesn't require you to prove anything. It meets you where you are, stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. If this message resonated with you, Stay connected. Your journey is shifting. And this is only the beginning. Scorpio, remember this. Not every transformation arrives with noise. Some arrive quietly and change everything from within. What's unfolding for you before December ends is setting the tone for the entire year ahead. Trust the process. Trust your instincts. And don't underestimate your inner power. If this message spoke to you, let me know in the comments. Stay connected, because Scorpio's journey is far from over, and what's coming next is even stronger than what you're leaving behind.